So, hello viewers, welcome to this podcast. Today I have a special guest with me, Dr. Vaishali Bhide.
Hello, Shirish.
How
I'm
are
so
you?
glad. Oh, very nice. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Great.
Before we get into a deeper conversation, I just want you to first start with homeopathy as a medicine.
Yes, this is one of my favorite questions actually. I am very passionate about my work. So, homeopathy as a medicine is a very promising system of medicine, according to me, where we take full detailed history of the person having the diagnosis and come to a medicine so that we can cover up maximum complaints in an individualistic way. By that I mean that 5 patients having the same diagnosis get different medicines because their journey of disease progression and the cause of the disease is different. Homeopathy was started in Germany by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, the father and the founder of homeopathy. In India, it was Kolkata where it got maximum acceptance and maximum growth. So we actually have to be indebted to that state because that is where homeopathy came, survived and grew and flourished to the entire country. In Maharashtra, in Bombay also, as we see, there is an increasing number of people who are opting for homeopathic treatment. If you have read Times of India surveys, they are giving out percentage of people or population in our country going more and more for homeopathic medicines. So we definitely have a lot more scope considering our population. Because of lack of education and awareness, unfortunately homeopathy has not been able to spread so much in the rural areas. However, there also the percentage of people to whom this medication is available and who are opting is increasing but at a lower pace. In urban areas, it is growing at a very fast pace. 20 years back when we opted for this career, that time the amount of people or the percentage of the population going for homeopathy was far lesser. Today with increased awareness and the main thing about the science being that there are no side effects, people are going more and more for homeopathic treatment.
Can you briefly take us through your journey in homeopathy?
Well, my journey in homeopathy began right after our 12th standard CET. My dad was just waiting for me to clear the CET with good marks, and that happened. It happened so much that he pushed me to take homeopathy as a career. Back then we listened to our parents. So this is how I entered in the homeopathic field. Since childhood I have been taking homeopathic medicine, so I knew this was a good option and a formidable career. That's why I opted for it and I went ahead. That is where the journey began. It was smooth sailing till the end of my MD. Then it was a very good practice with very promising results. And yes, then there I came a point where my dad once again talked to me that all the things that you have done are a matter of personal rejoice and they are personal achievements. But there is a system in place which ensured that you would become a doctor and give you the degree, or there are your patients or they are your colleagues. And so it is also imperative that you do something for the society. And so asked me, what have you done? And I had not done anything. So I told him, not yet. So then that is where my journey of taking homeopathy or serving people through homeopathy started. And that included around 11 ashrams. These are old age homes, orphanages, destitutes, institutes for destitutes, everything. So that is why now I use my science for social service.
You've been involved in social oriented work. Do you just want to talk through about it?
Yes, I have actually learnt a lot personally from the social work platforms or experience I have gone through. I would like to mention 2-3. We had gone to a foundation where it was a home for the destitutes. There were around 90 patients, some on the wheelchair, some having a bedridden life, with open sores and everything, all the possible things. We were around 25 doctors there who had gone for a camp, medical camp for a day. There was this person serving us. So we took his case and we prescribed to him. In that time he told us that he was found in a dustbin to those people of the organization. So they raised him like his own, and now he is staying there and helping the other inmates. And we were actually happy to meet a person like him who has grown up there and is serving the same place. This is what we want to do. We are part of the society, we want to give something back to the society. So by helping such people, by giving them free treatment and food, we are doing our bit to the society. There is another place we went to, it was in Unveiled orphanage. There I was taking a small kid's case. So he's talking to me, and there I come to know that his parents are alive. His mother is a sweeper. Okay, so you see those sweepers on the streets. Now she has got him to this ashram and kept him here. She meets him once in 3 months because her job doesn't allow her to travel so much to meet him. So she tells him that, look, I have become a sweeper because I did not have education. Now if you stay with me, You will have your mother's love, but not quality education, because she cannot afford a quality education for him. So she has decided to keep the child away so that he grows up to become not a sweeper, but he gets a good qualification, and that is how his life will be made better. So I asked him, what do you feel about it? The small kid, I think he was 8-year-old. So he tells me, I agree with her and we go to school daily, but there is only one thing I miss. I said, what do you miss? He said, I miss the dal and rice my mother makes.
Oh.
And that was very sweet actually. He started crying at that time. So we had a word with him, we counseled him. So we have learnt a few things there. You come in great touch with humanity in such places. You get to learn a lot.
So some people call it homeopathy as placebo homeopathy. Why is it so?
Yeah, some people ridicule or like to ridicule homeopathy as a placebo science because they have lack of awareness regarding the efficacy of homeopathic medicines. If it was only a placebo, then we would not see the growing number of people opting for homeopathy and also the promising results that we homeopathic doctors get in practice. So this ridicule comes out of ignorance.
Out of ignorance.
Yes.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your books?
I have published 2 books on which I have worked for many years actually, so that the product comes a quality product. The first book, that is Unlocking the Bogus Synoptic Key Part 1. This is the book. This has the most commonly prescribed 10 medicines which a junior homeopath or a young doctor would use, and also a doctor at the peak of practice. It explains the medicines from the point of view of 11 homeopathic stalwarts. So when a young doctor who has no time to read so voraciously opens that one book, he has an access to what 11 doctors are talking from different therapeutic point of view. So he is better positioned in practice when he is dealing with a case. That is how the first one is. The second one is a book which I have actually specifically included the medicines which are used for critical cases, or let's say for old age or debilitated cases, and many times when there was no case history available, by just looking at the reports, how you would prescribe to ensure that the patient lives a better life. So there we have flowcharts included where you need to prescribe the medicine at the earliest with least possible information. So this is the book Unlocking the Bogus Synoptic Key Part 2, which focuses mostly on critical cases. And so this should be either, this is actually ideal for people who have crossed first 5 to 8 years of practice, because that is the time you would have the experience to deal in such cases. At that level of practice, this is a very helpful book.
I think so this should be included in homeopathy syllabus as well.
I'll be very glad actually. It will be good for doctors because they will get an easy reckoner.
So we have 2 books. Are you thinking something on the third book?
Yes, I am very much working on the third book and the fourth book also. The third book is a book on my experiences in cancer treatment. I am thick and fast into it. Hopefully, I should come near publication soon.
Right. And how about AI, now that we talk about, artificial intelligence?
Yes.
You think it is going to help further to improvise homeopathy as a medicine?
I am not so well versed with AI actually. My practice keeps me away from these things, but I am lucky to have patients who use AI quite a bit, and so they will come to my OPD, put their own symptoms in the AI apps and tell me that these are the medicines coming, doctor, what have you given us? So I actually end up discussing with them that this was medicine given but did not help, or this helped. See, what AI is giving them a list of 6 medicines, but it is not giving them the rules of practice. Say for example, you give this medicine, this symptom goes down and the other comes up, so then the medicine is right. If the exactly opposite happens, then the medicine is wrong. Now this is what AI is not giving. It is just giving them a list of medicines which we have in our books. But when you have read the homeopathic rules, we have some rules of prescription. What should I say? The rules of a cure or the rules of recovery. That when you prescribe like this is what the picture should look like. The bigger disease should, lesser in its force, and then the smaller one. So normally, for example, if I am treating a case of arthritis and the patient has a small skin infection, then we tell them that as the joint deformity, you are going to get better at the joint function and the new flare-ups are going to stop. Your skin is going to get aggravated for some time. So here we see that the disease of higher pathology is losing its force over that person, but a smaller disease is going to increase. Now this AI does not teach that when you give this medicine, this will happen. But the AI is not going to tell you if it's right or wrong. So there AI falls short because it doesn't know how to access the results. I can give you 12 medicines, but which one to give and which has really affected a good recovery is not something AI can tell you.
Correct.
For that you need a doctor.
Yeah, so it's not something that you ask something in ChatGPT and get answers for it.
Patients come with that, and they in fact come with diagnosis also. But then again, it's the same thing. Then there has to be a differential diagnosis. There are very few simple questions you would ask and diagnose two things for which you don't require AI. You just require a doctor who has seen patients.
Right. So I've seen that, if you visit homeopath, like how I'd visited, and I'd spend like around an hour discussion with you. So lengthy discussion. So why so lengthy discussion?
See, in homeopathy, we are going to treat the person in disease and not the disease in person. And that's why I said when there are 5 people having the same diagnosis, the medicine is different. Because the point of initiation of the disease, the point of, let's say, the speed in which the disease progressed in the body, how the deformity developed, if there is a disease like that, and today, what is the mind state, are different things for different people. So we take great history, we take histories in great details, and then we prescribe.
Like you have a patient who's suffering from depression and you have given one set of, those
Yes.
sweet pills,
Yes.
right? So would it mean different, same kind of depression, but for a B patient, it's going to be the same pills or it's going to be different?
Now, I had a case of depression. There's this 18-year-old who came for depression. She was already on medicines. So we take her case, we go back to the childhood. In the childhood, she says the first time I felt really sad, which she remembers. Now, see, 18-year-old remembers the time when she was 6 years old. So I was in school, I had a pet cat. So one day she had bought some chips that she has and she gave it to the cat.
Okay.
The next day the cat had some bleeding from anus, and these are two different incidences. I don't think it has happened because of that. But that 5-year-old or the 6-year-old feels that because I have given this and the cat has developed this, and after a few days the cat dies. Now she was a best friend to her, so there was a grief which had come. But what stayed was that अरे मैंने इसको ये दिया और कुछ हो गया. Now she was scared to tell her mother that I have given that those chips to her 2 days prior, and she always kept feeling that it was because of her. So it was like, मैं बुरी हूँ. And we went through 3 to 4 incidences. Every time she had a fight with a friend, she would blast, and then she would feel, I have done something wrong, I have hurt my friend. So again we see a loop where there is guilt. So when we prescribe for her, guilt as a part of her nature was taken. So we have a few medicines which have very prominent guilt as a factor. Some have grief as a factor, some have anger as a factor. So in her case, while we were treating depression, we asked her whether she feels more cold or hot, whether she feels thirsty or no, whether how much sweat does she have. These things are central functions. The control is here. So when we are asking you the minuteness of question, we are actually seeing if the hypothyroid thyroid axis is working correctly, how it is working. So these small questions give a brief idea of the entire body. So here we take remorse or self reproach, blaming self as a very important symptom, and then we prescribe. And slowly and surely in 8 months time, the doctor who had prescribed her medicine, antidepressants, had halved his medicine. So the medicine had become half. She was doing better. She had joined some course and trying to get another degree. So we moved her back. But if I had not worked at the guilt, then I would not have a faster recovery. Here we achieved that by targeting the emotion which she was, indulging in maximum, which she was not able to heal or overcome. So this is one case of depression. There was another case of depression. Here, in that, again, what was the age? She was 22. 2 years back, in COVID, she lost her father. 3 months later, she lost her brother. So these were back-to-back cases, and after that, her mother slipped in depression. Now she was taking care of her mother, taking care of her job, and grieving for 2 family members. Here also I asked her, what did you feel? She said, I was devastated when my father left us because he was the breadwinner. Then there was my brother whom I was also very close to. As if it was less that my mother slipped in depression. Now I got deprived of that also, that love also. Although she was there for me, she was lost in thoughts and not really, no more available emotionally for me. So I felt as if nobody loves me. So here with grief and bereavement, we also considered forsaken feeling, not being loved or left, abandoned. This was the feeling which was taken, and we selected the medicines which kind of have this feeling, and then a prescription was made. So earlier it was guilt, that was a primary emotion which was seen all throughout the case. In this case it was a very acute grief. It was just a few months back when she had approached me. So that time I had taken Forsaken, or a feeling of abandonment and grief, and a prescription was made. Both of them are doing better today, but here we have addressed two completely different unhealed emotions. So this is where homeopathy is different. See, for every patient there is a different medicine. As I said, the journey is different. For example, there are two patients who have forsaken or abandoned feeling, and both have depression. Then we would ask them, you feel more hot or more thirsty, more hot or cold, more thirsty or thirstless, you sweat more, you sweat less, how is your menstrual function, what are the premenstrual symptoms. This is how you're going to, both of them, when you get them ready, the jigsaw pieces fit differently for both of them. So it's a different jigsaw puzzle. And then whatever matches that picture, we will give the medicine.
Right.
So it's somebody who is having a forsaken feeling but feeling very thirsty and less cold, we'll get a different medicine. From somebody who has the main issue of feeling forsaken, left out, having not being able to tolerate heat and sweating more, we'll get a different medicine, because it has got differentiated at a level. So we'll take the mind also, we take the body functions also, because these are vital functions. We take everything into account, and that is why it is such a tailored medicine. And so I don't really recommend people taking homeopathy without really studying in detail, because we claim that we have good results in autoimmune diseases and other pathologies. So if you have a good result in such pathologies, it is good that common people don't opt for these medicines without a doctor's watch over it. You can't take homeopathy, it requires too much study.
Right. And how these pills actually, they take care of stress, like people are having high stress.
Yes.
Do you think homeopathy again, it's like a solution to them as well?
See, I'll give you a good example. Let's say we have two patients who have high stress and who are hypertensives today. So we'll discuss a case only. I have this 40-year-old. 40 according to me is little early for getting hypertension. So his BP is high. On questioning, we come to know that he is an anxious personality. So every time there is a small or a big event, he feels very scared. So every time he is scared, his BP shoots up.
Right.
So when I prescribe for such a person, he is already on a medication for BP. What we do is we take the main emotion. In his case, the emotion is anxiety. Then there is sweating or there is thirst and everything, desires, food cravings, food aversion, food aggravations, because they are also very individualistic. Right? So we take all that and prescribe, but we have taken anxiety as the main emotion, because it is prolonged anxiety which has caused him the rise of BP. So when I prescribe on anxiety, his tendency to get anxious thoughts or respond to every situation with anxiety reduces. The moment that reduces, body does not respond with the increased blood pressure. So when we say we work at the root, this is the root. The root is that he is feeling anxious out of proportion and more than required. So we don't prescribe anti-anxiety. We give a medicine wherein by looking at the situation, they genuinely don't feel that anxious. That loop is broken. They feel positive and not anxious, and therefore the constant anxiety which causes high blood pressure in the long run, we work at that anxiety. What slowly happens is the reading gets better, and the doctor who has prescribed also starts cutting down the medicine. He starts tapering the medicine, and that is how we work. Now this is one example. The second patient, now this is a 50-year-old. He's a very angry personality. He would shout at everybody on the way and everybody is tired with him. Here, every time he gets angry, he is so angry that you can't talk to him. You can ask him, how was your day? How is it doing? How much stress I am? You know at what level I am working? I am a CEO. Don't you think why are you asking me? So basically he snaps at everything, and so it is anger which is ruining his health. This kind of anger and irritability, every time you get angry, you want to release adrenaline in the blood. Now we know that shoots up blood pressure. If you're going to be angry all the time, it is going to cause increased blood pressure, and we as doctors know when the pressure increases, you tend to become more angry and irritable. So it's like a vicious cycle. So in his case, when we prescribe, we are going to take irritability and anger as the core factor. When we prescribe on that, they usually become calmer and milder. They will remain as angry personalities, but mildly angry, rationally angry. There is no bad impact on the body. See, we all have our natures, but that does not mean we come up with a diagnosis. So it gets tapered. So that is how when we say work at the roots, here we work at the anger component. and then the BP slowly starts coming back to normal, the opposite doctor will always taper the medicines. So this is how it is done. When you say work on the roots and we are individualistic science, this is how it is done.
With this regards, I would want to ask that, like all age group, can they consume homeopathy medicines?
Yes.
Like children's, mid-aged, or pregnant ladies for that matter?
See, the most important factor in this question is that there are no side effects to the medicine when the medicine is correct. So when you have given the right medicine, you can give it to anybody. There is no contraindication that so and so person cannot take homeopathy. There is no such contraindication, and that is why we have stood the test of time as a science.
Now, since we are speaking about it, homeopathy, people say it's a slow medicine. At initial stage, they take allopathy medicine. Only if it doesn't work, they come and visit homeopathy doctor.
Yes.
Right? So, in that case, someone who is consuming allopathy medicines, can they consume homeopathy medicines at the same time? Would there be any side effects?
See, as you rightly said, people don't come to us in the start. So by the time they come to us, they already have some prescriptions in place and big files.
Correct.
So both the medicines can be taken together. Yes, there are no direct side effects because both of them are taken. Because that is the reality. We usually get patients very late when the disease has gone deeper, when the pathology has progressed. Only then they search for an alternative.
Right. Now, as we speak about even senior citizens, like, do we have people having heart issues? They come to you and seek homeopathic guidance?
Yes, people do come, but as I said, they're already on prescriptions. And now the only thing many of times they tell me is, you treat us so that the other prescription will not increase. हमको दवाई बढ़ाना नहीं है, बस इतना करो कि इससे आगे दवाई बढ़े नहीं. Many times it is that. Blood pressure, yes, it is commonest. Heart issues, yes, but as I said, they're already on medicines. And we never ask them to stop those medicines.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because they've already been prescribed for.
Yes, many times they've already done the bypass or other procedure.
Right.
And so we can never ask them to stop the medicine.
Do you think there is more scope of homeopathy in India? So why I'm asking this is because without political support, how are you going to take homeopathy to the national level or international level? So net, what I'm asking is that, are you going to raise homeopathy from the platform of politics?
So Shirish, as we know that homeopathy is gaining and increases popularity by the day. We now very well know that the central government and at the state also, they are giving good encouragement to Ayush system of medicine, which includes homeopathy also. So I think in the times to come, we are seeing a golden era for homeopathy and homeopaths, at least in our country. Talking of politics, a good backing from the state and the center is definitely going to help us achieve greater heights and help research in homeopathy, which was, I think, at a slower pace prior. My two books, part 1 and part 2 of Unlocking the Bogus Synoptic Key, both have been unveiled by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, and that itself shows their encouragement towards this science. I'm grateful to him for both of them.
You have a very good social portfolio. Yes. So let us know something about it, how it started and where does it stand as of now?
I started my social work the day my father asked me to repay the debt of the society. This social work was started and we took camps in 11 ashrams across our city, that is Anath ashrams and old age homes plus homes for the destitutes. Taking this initiative one step further, I have soon to launch a trust called as Sarvam Foundation. With the help of this trust, me and my team will be conducting free medical camps, medical awareness or health awareness lectures, usually mostly for orphans. Then there will be academic support also given to them, and many more activities will be conducted which will encourage unity and brotherhood among different sections of the society. So on Sundays, 2 Sundays a month, I go in a charitable clinic called as a Ma Sheela Clinic. It is at Kurla, and from 11 in the morning to 5 in the evening, I give free medicines to patients, and there also the response has been very good. We get good 70-80 patients every time, and we can serve more people, and immense job satisfaction comes from them.
True that, but I just wonder, like, what keeps you going, what keeps you motivated?
A very common experience of us doctors who go for such camps in orphanages and old age homes, at the end of the day when you go home and you're trying to sleep in the night, that day you get the best possible sleep when you have helped somebody selflessly, and that is the motivation. The sense of satisfaction is so deep that it kind of motivates you to do one more.
What was the reaction of the society? How did they reciprocate it towards this act?
The act of social service was selfless act, so basically there was no reciprocation expected. However, I was surprised and happily surprised that I got a lot of reciprocation from the homeopathic fraternity and different fraternities. I have been awarded 11 awards in a span of a year. Then my homeopathic colleagues supported me in this endeavor and helped me to take this journey further. And the patients who we treat, kids in the orphanage or in the old age homes, they gave us a lot of blessings in return, which will go a long way to ensure that we do more credible works in the near future.
So now that we've spoken so much about homeopathy as a medicine, the treatments and the effect it has to the end patients. So with that keeping in mind, a lot of youngsters, they are seeking to become a homeopathy doctor. So any advice you would have for them in particular?
Homeopathic doctors are facing a lot of difficulties and many of them are giving up their practice very early on. This is a matter of great concern and worry. So I have done my bit, what is required to help that part of homeopathic practice. Let's say the first 5 to 8 years, people who are practicing for the first 5 to 8 years. For that I published the 2 books and also started an all India organization called that Iconic Women Homoeopaths Bharat, where we connect all the doctors across the country so that the junior most can get an free access to the senior most and learn and crack their cases in a faster way. This is what I have done, but yes, a message to them is sure that hard work is what is required to get you to a level where you will enjoy your practice, and we should never shy away from doing hard work because that is required in every field. And if you do that, then homeopathy practice is certainly a formidable career. You will not be disappointed.
So I know that you are a president of a group. So do you just want to talk through about it? That how did you think about this, and now from there where you are, how long it has been since then?
So when the decision was taken that I would serve the society, my homeopathic fraternity was at the top, and there, as I said, I've done 2 things. One is the books that I am doing, and I'm further releasing the books, the next books to come. And the second part is I started an organization called as the Iconic Women Homoeopaths Bharat, where we connected 1000 plus homeopathic doctors all over the country. Now we have president, vice president in place, plus vice presidents of different states. So here we have formed a network where all the doctors who specialize in different things. Now some doctors will specialize in PCOD cases, some will specialize only in psoriasis, some will specialize in infertility. All these doctors, lady doctors, we have a lady doctors group, have come on one platform, wherein every week or once in 2 weeks we take webinars about the latest topics and latest. Some of them are in research, so they will talk about their research. Some people are dealing only in autism, so they are taking lectures on that. So a young doctor has an access to a knowledge of people who have worked or practiced for 20 years, 30 years. And so sitting in his cabin early in his practice, he has access to best brains in the country who are doing good in their careers. So that puts the young doctor also in a good position to start the career in a better swing. So this is what we are doing for the young homeopaths.
I think so. That's a great platform.
Yes.
All community. You are having a community of homeopaths who are coming together, right from the youngsters. They have access to experienced people like you who have
Yes.
great knowledge, experience, sharing with them, and they don't have to wait for years of experience to come at that level.
Yes.
They have easy access to you, and I think so. That's a great initiative which you have
Shri,
taken.
personally, I have benefited a lot from these lectures, and in our time there were no webinars, there were seminars. Every Sunday in my homeopathic college, all 4 Sundays, I attended lectures. By lectures, what I knew was the doctor who has practiced for 20 years is going to give me the gist of his experience in 2 hours. And I would not miss that because I will not want to make the same mistakes that they have done in their practice. So you stay 2 steps ahead from the generation which you are learning from, because they have given you the gist. Look, in these and these cases, you should avoid this and do that. So when you enter your practice, you would not make that mistake because you have gained from the experience. So I have never missed any lecture. On Sundays I have gone attended lectures because their 20 years experience is going to be crystallized in those 2 hours, and I can't miss that. That is why educative platform is where doctors really benefit, or anybody would benefit. We always benefit from the experience of the seniors. So I would never miss that.
How people can choose a good homeopathic doctor? There are 2 homeopathy doctors, Dr. Vaishali and else. Why should they come to you?
See, I would like to believe that anybody who's practicing homeopathy is as good as anybody else. So patients, they're comfortable talking to them and they are convinced of their knowledge, I think that should be their doctor.
Do you just want to talk about how in sports homeopathic medicine could be beneficial?
Yes. First, as we talked, that homeopathy is an individualistic science. So basically, if we would have the constitutional medicine, as we call it, that would be ideal. This helps in removing all the anxiety and the confidence issues that the player is facing, which we normally do. They would tell us that I'm all fine till the semi-finals. When the final comes, I become very jittery. The fear of failure starts. What my parents will say, what my
Right.
coach will say, all that starts to appear in the middle of the match. Our table tennis player complaining of that. So here we take the main constitutional medicine and prescribe, because it is the nervousness getting the better of the sportsman. Otherwise, there is a good scope in the field of sports injuries, because we have one of the best classes of one of the best possible homeopathic medicines for injuries. So it could be an injury to the tendon, it could be a ligament, it could be a fracture or a tendency to fracture. Many people have tendency to fracture. So for a normal fall, you would not get a fracture, but they end up getting fractures because their bones are brittle. So in such cases, when we prescribe, we see that their tendency to fracture reduces, and this is a very common this is a very common result that homeopathic doctors get. So tendency to ligament strains or tendons, and all this is covered very well. Plus we also have cases where they are injured and tomorrow is the match and they are having a big swelling. So doctor, can you do something, because I want to play in the match tomorrow, there is pain in my heel, can you do something? So for such pain related things also, we have good medicines which will reduce the inflammation at the site in a remarkable time and get them better position for the next day game. And this is important because most people want to believe that homeopathy is a science which works slowly. It is not true for injuries. It depends on how we have used the potency and the repetition. If we repeat faster and or give a higher potency, the results are very fast. It depends on what the situation is. In sports injuries, if they have the match the next day, we give them medicines at a repeated interval, and so to see that they get faster response, which I would not do in a normal person.
Okay, so talking about PCOD cases, like lady, which cases you see on the rise?
When we were educating ourselves or we were becoming doctors or early practice, it was menstrual complaints or pain during periods, which was the major reason why we had women consulted us at a younger age. But today it is PCOD and irregular periods or not getting periods at all, which is the major concern for which I get maximum of my female patients. One is PCOD, second is thyroid issues. PCOD is increasing at an alarming rate, and which is very worrisome, because it is with obesity and they have a tendency to become early diabetics. So PCOD is one thing we all are working, all doctors are working hard at. Here the problem is we require equal cooperation from the patient, which means they have to do their bit to reduce weight, which is healthy eating and more exercise, and then we give our medicines. So whenever they come, I always make it a point to say that the medicines will help you as long as you are doing these two lifestyle modifications. So this is one challenging thing which is on the rise.
So you just mentioned about PCOD. So have you seen any shift to the younger age group?
In the younger age group now, we are seeing more people, more kids who are having anger tantrums. They have distanced themselves more from the studies, and so are having academic issues, including confidence loss and examination fears. This is on the rise. That's what I'm seeing in my practice. Mobile phones are a major cause for this, because the more they indulge in the mobiles, the more their attention span is reducing, the more their irritability is increasing, and their sincerity going down. This is one thing I always bring to the notice of the parents, and of course we take the full case and we prescribe if the fear of failure or fear of exams is very high, because many times we see that they are very good academically, however in the last moment they just forget everything. Now this is a complete blank state where they see the paper and they forget. There are good medicines for this. There is another problem is when they can write their theory very well, the moment it's time for the oral exams, they start getting jittery and they don't talk anything. So this is very clear that this is a problem only in verbal communication. So they get they get the mind gets fagged and examination funk, as we call it. So we have different medicines for these. As I mentioned, the irritability factor is on the high. We have good medicines for people who are irritable or children who are irritable. However, mobile being a constant factor, we always see to it that unless that is taken care of, the results will not be long lasting.
For older age people, that medicines, it's never ending. It's lifelong medicines. Like how it works in homeopathy? Is it like lifelong, or as you think that it's under control, then we kind of stop it?
See, for old age, if I am treating a person who does not have a progressive pathology, let's say a terminal disease, if they don't have the usual complaint that they have is lack of sleep and constipation, these are two things, and urinary disturbances, usually in male patients.
Right.
So these are three things which are there irrespective of any deep pathology. Even if they don't have blood pressure, diabetes or any terminal illness, these are the few common things which they will have. Now sleep issues will be addressed. We will take their full case in detail and see if there is anything which is stressing them out, some anxiety or anything which has got them emotionally upset. Usually when we work at that, the sleep issue settles. For constipation, we require them to also adopt a better lifestyle, eat more of fiber and walk, because sometimes the system has slowed down, and then we prescribe. So we get the best help from them also, and then we prescribe and we get help in that. For males, usually at that age when they complain of urinary troubles, it's the prostate. So we always keep another doctor in the loop to see that there is no greater pathology, and we prescribe, and many times they get good symptomatic relief in their urinary issues also.
Do you want to give examples of the medical camps? I know you've just spoken about a few, but something particular that's
Yes.
like, you feel like really good about it?
Yes, we had conducted a camp for the specially abled kids, around 270 plus kids, at Dr. Abdul Kalam Home for the Disabled at Mankhurd. Here I had some experiences which will always stay with me. It just goes to show that the society will help better if we were to help each other. The specially abled kids, they know that all of them have some challenges, so they always come together to work. So on my sheet I had the next name for the patient, so I called out to that patient. He was a 17-year-old and he was not coming. So then there is another boy who was blind who walked up to him. Now they know each other, right? He lifted him and he brought him and kept him on the seat. So I was wondering how he came to know where the seat is. So he felt with his legs and then with his hand, and he kept him there. Now imagine lifting a 17-year-old boy. So basically, when I called out the name, the visually challenged person realizes that this my friend cannot walk. So he lifts him. Now he knows where my chair and table is from the voice, and then he knows how to position him on the chair also. Now this is a help given by a person who is visually challenged, who is not able to walk. So he will give him verbal instruction and he will follow the physical instruction. This is how they are working in tandem there. And we saw many such incidences happening there. And there was this boy, not boy, actually a man. So he was 40-year-old. So while we were talking to them, taking rounds, so we just asked them, what is your hobby? So now these people don't have a house of their own. They are staying there, among all these people. So he says, I would have been a better singer than Kishore Kumar. And then he sings a song for us. And then, all people around him cheer and they are dancing there. So you just get to see that however little they have, they are making the most of them and they look happy together. And they are helping each other, which is most important, and where we as a society, I think, are going in a regression mode. Each one help one, the society would be a better place.
No, it's such an truly inspirational to hear this part of your experience, and thanks for sharing that and remembering.
Thank you, Shri.
Yeah. So with that, I think so. A lot of information you have given to us. I was thinking slow medicine, but I think so it's beyond that. And anyone who would want to experience this or have any further questions related to anything which Dr. Vaishali has just mentioned, you can comment on YouTube. Dr. Vaishali would be more than happy to address it, or you can come to the clinic, which is there at Dadar. Where to come and see you?
My clinic is at Saplace Polyclinic. That is Shivaji Park, Dadar. I practice from 10 in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening. I see patients by appointments.
Right, and we do online consultations.
Yes, I also do online consultations, especially for my overseas patients, but also for people who are staying far away.
Perfect. So that's it we have from Dr. Vaishali, MD in Homeopathy. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Shri.